Hi, my name is Clarissa Rodriguez, and I am a PhD candidate in the Lotus Ecology Lab at UCR, and I study the drivers and impacts of invasive plants. But before I get into that, I want you to look at this house and pretend that this is the home where you grew up in, where you and your family live, eat, and sleep. Now, imagine one day you come home and you notice that spiders have invited themselves into your house and started to establish a home of their own in your living room. Chances are you might be a little surprised, but for the most part, this uninvited guest in your house keeps to himself in the corner, doesn't spread to other rooms, and may even help out with killing some other unwanted pests like flies or mosquitoes. So you decide to let the spiders stay because their population is pretty small and they aren't causing you any trouble. Now, let's say you walk into your kitchen one day after going grocery shopping and you find a lonely ant and you think, where did you come from? But you let it be and go on with your day. Now, let's fast forward a few days. You walk into the kitchen again, and this time you see a trail of ants, an army of ants. And this time they're invading your kitchen and taking your food and resources away. So at this point, you start trying anything and everything to get rid of the invading ants, from vacuuming to pesticides, but nothing seems to work. No matter what you try, the ant population continues to grow and become harder to manage. At this point, the ant problem is not only taking away your food, but it's also introducing more problems in your home, like attracting other pests. So desperate for answers, you start asking questions like, how did you get here and where did you come from? What resources and how much are you taking away? How can I get rid of you? And where are you going to spread to next? Well, these are all similar questions that I ask with my research, but with plants invading North America. Invasive species are species that have spread outside of their native distribution, aka their home, and spread to new areas, aka other species' home, causing negative impacts on the area that they're invading. Now, this is a major issue because invasive species are actually very damaging to ecosystems and the economy. In fact, they're one of the major contributors to global climate change. To top that off, globally, we spend about $26.8 billion on trying to manage invasive species. Now, that's a lot of money. So for my research, I studied the drivers and impacts of invasive plant establishment and spread to reduce the economic and ecological costs caused by invasive species. So when looking at establishment and impacts, I look at what resource does this plant need to survive and how is it affecting the plants that already live there. I also study what drives the spread of invasive species to try to understand and identify what areas are likely to be invaded next. And lastly, I work with local land practitioners to decide which management options are best to control the invasive species population to try to bring back the native species. And all this research ultimately contributes towards improving land management and restoration efforts to keep native species and our planet happy. And the best part is you can help stop the spread of invasive species by making sure you clean your shoes before and after hikes, volunteer for invasive plant removal events, and grow native plants in your garden or lawn instead of non-native or invasive species. Thank you to all the sponsors for the Student Multimedia Science Communication Competition, and thank you all for watching.